Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're back on Monster Hunter. We're going to be doing my solo guide again, and we're going to be tackling Nergigante, aka Spiky Boy, and we're going to see how to defeat him solo, so let's get right into it. Nergigante, according to the lore, is an elder dragon who feasts on other elder dragons. This is definitely one of the harder boss fights in the game so far. It took me about 4 attempts and 11 deaths, but I finally managed to slay him on solo, and with that time, I quickly learned all of the moves that he likes to use. One tip is that you have to be very careful with Nergigante because he is very fast and an aggressive monster and rarely seems to ever run out of stamina. So let's start off how we did the last time and go over the psychology report. So according to the psychology report, which you get from reaching research level 1, it says his legs, head, and horns are his weak points, his horns and tail are the only breakable and severable parts of his body. Now based off the weapon you use, you could do certain damage to a certain spot to maximize your damage output. Blunt weapons such as hammers and the like should focus on heads and horns. The sharp weapon should focus on the horns and the legs, and for the face for the ranged weapons. On the right side, it shows his weaknesses and his ailments, and for weaknesses, he's mostly weak to thunder and dragon, and the same across the board for all ailments, so choose what you like. I definitely do recommend to use thunder and dragon though. Next up is the Loadout. I currently have the entire Orodagon set. I apologize, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name. I'm very bad at pronouncing names in this game, but it is the monster in the Rotten Veil that does bleed damage to you. I have his entire set except the arms and the helmet. My helmet is the bone armor in the high rank tier, and my arms are the arms of Zora Magdaros. I highly recommend armor in the high tier, especially because of how much damage he does and because that will give you a ton of defense. My weapon of choice was the dual blades with blast damage, but going back to the report, thunder and dragon will be your best option. I was still gathering the research points while I was fighting him, so I had no clue that those were his weaknesses, but once again, now you know. As for the Palico, I didn't really focus on him too much. I mostly used him as bait when I needed to heal or equip a mantle, so that is entirely your choice. Although if you are going to use yours, I recommend what I did and use the Vigor Wasp. I used the Vigor Wasp so that I can have an extra set of healing items just in case I ran out of max potions. For the Loadout, make sure to have Mega Nutrients to maximize your health, Mega Potions and keep them, tons of them stored in your chest. You're going to be using a lot of these for when you need to heal, and even some max potions which will heal your entire health bar all the way up to full, just in case if you need some health. A cool drink is another very good choice as well, but I'll explain why in a little bit. I also grabbed some barrel bombs for the last phase, but they aren't entirely necessary. If you're low on Zenny, I recommend not using these and probably saving them to buy some potions and such. But if you have the cash for it, which you probably should, then definitely go grab some of these. The Vitality Mantle is almost a must for this fight because you're going to be getting hit a lot, and the Vitality Mantle, again, takes a certain amount of threshold of damage and just completely negates it, but it goes into the armor, making the armor weaker until it fully disappears. And then lastly is to make sure you eat. I even went mid-fight during it. I was fighting him. It said that I could heal again, so I went back mid-fight, ran all the way back up to spawn to eat food, and then fought him again. I chose the food that gave the attack and defense buffs, but once again, that's completely up for debate and it's entirely on you. Also, if there's any tips that you have that I may have missed, put it in the comments for other players to see if they're still stuck on this fight. And now that we're all set, let's get into the fight. So to start, remember, Nergigante is an elder dragon, meaning he can't be caught by traps and the like, so don't bother spending money on them. One huge tip is that on his wings, head, back, and arms are spikes, hence the name Spiky Boy. These recharge after some time. If not destroyed, they will eventually turn black. Once they all turn black, be aware because this is where his most powerful moves will come out. He will basically roar, fly into the air, and dive bomb, causing all of his spikes to break off and hit you if you're nearby. This can be avoided by sprint jumping, and which I said in the last video with Diablos, has incredible invincibility frames, causing you to take no damage just like in this clip here. Another one is a very slow but devastatingly powerful ground pound with his claw. This can also be avoided by sprint jumping, but the best course of action is to dodge by his tail and completely miss the hit so that you will leave him open for a bit and give you some free hits. This move also has a different variation to it. If the move is shorter, he will just immediately slam his hand on the ground and fling spikes at you, but if it's longer, it'll just be a ground pound and that's it. Another 3 moves he likes to use are what I call Wing Slide, Wing Fling, and Tail Smash. Wing Slide is where he goes on his side and slides across the floor and hits you with his back. He will use this move when close by, so you have a quick time to react to him on this one. Knowing when it's coming is key, because if you react, you can dodge the wings by rolling into the tail, and you can also get some free hits while he tries to get up. For the Wing Fling move, he flings his wings out to his sides, and if next to him, they will hit you. You can tell when this move is about to happen because the wings will be at his sides, like this fight in the clip I'm showing now. And then lastly is the tail smash. This will only happen when you're behind him. He will smash his tail on you to prevent you from hitting him in the tail, because once again, that is also a weak point. So be careful when attacking his tail. Now that the main moves are done, let's move to the areas and see what we can do with that. The rotation of where he spawns is different every time, so we'll go from where I went. Most of these areas sadly don't have much to help you, like paratoads, like in the Diablos fight, and flash flies and such like that. But in the first area, it is I like to call the crystal room with towers surrounding it. Definitely use these towers as cover if you want to heal or to protect yourself from an attack. They are very useful. The next area is technically the beginning. It is a wide open area. Sadly, there is nothing really here to help you. You can potentially mount in here on the small elevated rocks towards the back, or if you climb up on the vines if you're really risky, but that's basically it for this area. The third area is another crystal room, except with a little bit more cover. Same as usual, nothing really to help you here, but there are crystal bursts you can use as slinger ammo to stop NERGIGANTE for a bit if he's in the middle of a move, but they only do 14 damage, so they're basically used just to stop him if you're kind of in the middle and you're probably stuck on something. Like if you're trying to heal, you can dodge away, hit him with the slinger, and it'll give you enough time to regenerate your health for a bit. The fourth area is on the top right next to the camp before you drop down into the official arena at the start. This is a better position for mounting, and the ramp on the side can provide decent cover as well. There's also some little plants that I believe give you antidote, but since he doesn't really do poison, these are kind of useless. The second last area is what I like to call the fire pit. Going back to what we said about having the cool drink will protect you from the fire damage, because if you walk on it, you will take some fire damage. Use this to prevent all of it. This is more of a hazard to you as it is to him, so always try to have a cool drink on hand for this fight. Because without the cool drink, you can only go on the rocky parts not affected by the lava without getting hit, and that makes the arena really small. But if you have a cool drink, you could be walking on the lava as much as you want, making the area a little bit bigger and more area for you to move around. And for the final area, it is NERGIGANTE's nest. He will likely retreat after limping, which is a sign that he is weak. I like to use this time to load up on the barrel bombs and blow them up near his spikes, if there are any that are white, to do some damage. Usually at the beginning, once he wakes up, he will try to dive bomb the wall and open up the map a little bit. This will also give you another mounting position. Once again, it's similar to the one in the main area, not very big in terms of a jump, but it is the possibility of being there. There are also icicles hanging from the ceiling that can hurt you if NERGIGANTE either hits the wall or the ground too hard. I'm not entirely sure on that, but they don't really do lots of damage to you or NERGIGANTE. I believe they do like very minor chip damage to you and do about 1 damage to him. The icicles, though, will knock you back if you're hit by them, which if you're positioned wrong could lead you into some very bad trouble, so definitely be aware of where they're falling. And then congrats, you have beat NERGIGANTE. Once again, if there's any questions you have, comment them down below and I will try to answer them as best I can. As well, if there's any tips you have that I have missed, also leave them down there as well. Once you finish beating NERGIGANTE, there's going to be a quest where you have to track down a few other ancient elder dragons. Don't worry about that. I also have a guide coming either Thursday or Friday, because this video should be up on Wednesday, of how to get those tracks, so don't worry about that. There should be, by the time you beat this, about 4 to 5 enemies left, so definitely expect guides on those characters as well in the near future. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you did enjoy, please sure to give it a like. If you're new around here, then subscribe. I'm covering a lot of Monster Hunter content, a lot of the guides, a lot of the news when they come out, mostly guides on the characters and other little tidbits of information that are very helpful. A lot of you guys seem to be watching my mounting video. I'm super happy about that. It was the first ever Monster Hunter video, and it's at 33,000 views at the moment, so I really do appreciate the immense amount of support on that one and the Diablo solo guide. So thank you guys for that. Once again, subscribe if you're new. I cover all that stuff I previously mentioned. My 2 most recent videos are going to be popping up on screen in Monster Hunter, so definitely check those out if you haven't already. And with that, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace out.